and welcome back to HCS Weekly.
I felt like, yo, this is my life. I have to go pro in Halo.
In my head, thought that was more efficient, and I guess I was right.
He was like the god. We would have to 2v1 like just to beat this guy. Like
I don't know, man. I'll try reaching it. You're like, oh, let's see you guys later.
A lot of Halo in my life, man. It's been a fun journey.
I love it. Hello, welcome back to HCS Weekly, your weekly destination for all things HCS. I'm your host, ShyWay, and I'm back from Atlanta. We're finally back. It's Thursday now as well. I know usually we have our Tuesday episode, and because I came back, I was tired. I couldn't really put an episode together. We pushed it back to Thursday, so here we are. Hopefully you guys managed to, come here and stick with us. Despite that, Atlanta was awesome. Hopefully you guys tuned in and got to watch that as well. We will chat about that a little bit. I got Matty coming up for news, but I also have a pretty exciting topic for today's discussion. We're going to talk about high-quality Halo content creation and building value with somebody who I'd say is an expert at creating content, some excellent background in production value and content. We're going to take a look at that right after our news, but let's get into the news with Matty from NoobCombo.com. Matty, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on, dude?
Not much. I am just trying to get back into the swing of things. I don't know. I feel like Atlanta was fun, and I gave all this energy to it. I look back on it, and I'm like proud of it. But now that I'm home, and it's just kind of back to the usual, I don't know, man.
It's the post-event blues.
Yeah, I'm like, this is my life now. I can't just do that every weekend. I have to go back to just the regular routine. But it was really fun event. Hopefully you got to watch a lot of it.
Yeah, I was on vacation. I was in Florida so I got to see the half of the second day and then all of Sunday, but I missed the first day and a half.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The long days, man. We had there's no seats. No seats on the desk, so we just kind of stand there the entire day, and I get like 5 minutes in between. We throw to a 5-minute break, and then I got to come back up. So sometimes I like miss catering and have to like try to grab food and put it aside, and a whole challenge. But it was good. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. So we also have news in the meantime. Of course, I guess part of that would be covering DreamHack. What do we got for news?
Oh yeah, I got the results up, but as usual, start off with the playlist updates.
Right.
For MCC. Rocket Race is rotating out of Action Sack, but it didn't say what's taking its place.
Okay.
But next week we'll be seeing, they said, Turkey Day variants. So I guess we have Thanksgiving here in the U.S., so I guess we'll have some themed game modes to play. Okay. And then over in Halo 5, starting today, Forerunner Slayer is rotating in for Triple Team. And then next Tuesday, the 26th, Action Sack will be making its way back in place of CE Anniversary, and Warzone Turbo will be live again.
So no Turkey Day stuff for Halo 5, just for MCC?
Yep.
Apparently? Okay. Exclusive Thanksgiving rights to MCC.
Yeah.
Okay. We also have a Halo Reach release day. This is probably the most exciting and scary news point, I'd say.
Yeah. They had the XO 19 convention over in London, which is a big Xbox convention. But they announced that Tuesday, December 3rd, is when Reach will be releasing on PC and Xbox. On PC, you can get it on Microsoft Store and Steam. It's $9.99 just for Halo Reach, or you can buy the entire Master Chief Collection for $39.99. And then over on Xbox, if you already own Master Chief Collection, you'll be able to play Multiplayer Forge and Theater. Okay. And the campaign and firefight mode will be available for an additional $10. $9.99.
Wait, so if you have it on Xbox, do I still have to pay for the campaign on the PC version?
Well, what do you mean?
I get the multiplayer for free on PC, but got to pay for the campaign on the
No, on Xbox, if you have MCC,
you can get it all.
Multiplayer Theater.
Okay, so you still have to pay for campaign if you own it on Xbox, basically.
Well, yeah, even if you own it on Xbox, you can't just play on PC unless you're a Game Pass subscriber.
Okay. Well, I got that.
Yeah, it's not a play anywhere.
Play campaign, realistically speaking, so I'm just, as long as I get my access to multiplayer, it's not an expensive asking price, but anyway.
But if you have Game Pass, you'll have access to everything.
Everything, okay.
Yeah, and then it's depending, obviously, if you're Game Pass Ultimate, you can play on PC. If you're just a regular Game Pass, you play on Xbox.
Right. What do you think of that announcement? Apart from the fact that it's good that we get Halo Reach soon, because I feel like people are pretty burnt out. We need something new to play, but kind of scary. Eh?
Yeah, I was shocked that it was so soon after playing the flight, but that's also my next topic. Posted the development update for Reach. He pretty much hit on the main topics that people were talking about. Push to talk, which wasn't included. They said they have that underway, so we should be seeing that.
Okay.
They fixed the VSync input latency issues.
That's big.
Yeah.
They apparently fixed them.
Yeah.
Okay.
The getting stuck in menus and the miscellaneous crashes, they fixed that.
Right.
But as far as aim assist for the controller on PC, they have no changes currently planned because they said it's pretty much similar to how Halo CE and Halo 2 originally launched on PC. So if they do change it, it'll limit the chances of crossplay. If crossplay does come.
Maybe this is a stupid question. Are there issues with aim assist on controller currently on the build? Because I never actually played the PC build on controller.
Apparently, I was playing with mouse and keyboard. But apparently with a controller, the aim assist was like ridiculous.
Oh, it was heavier.
Yeah, I guess when you compared it to
the Xbox
PC players, the controller players had a huge advantage.
Oh shit!
I know during Twitch Rivals, I think they all switched over except Summit.
I thought the big reason was latency, not necessarily like the advantage.
I think that was another issue. But as far as servers go, they're upgrading the servers for the launch, which is good news. They're making several improvements.
Okay.
And then input delay issues, they're still working on them.
Okay, so that's the issue, input delay.
Yeah, they're working on it. Any changes they make, they said they'll flight
Changes
first.
will be flighted post-launch. Oh, God, dude. You can't have input delay issues on day one. I don't think you can have that. If you're a PC player... Is this one of the points that Hidden Xperia got into? I know there are a lot of videos being created about this.
Yeah, Hidden Xperia made a video which had all the concerns that I have. So I'm watching that. But there's also other videos. I know Kevin Cool made a video on why he thinks it is ready for launch.
Okay.
So definitely check those out. There were audio issues. Again, in Hidden Xperia's video, he gives an example of it. I had that in my flight.
I've had a bunch too.
Yeah. But they are looking into it. But same thing. Any changes, they'll flight first before they change it. And then the big one, I think, that everyone had a problem with was the frame rate. They said that it will be locked in at 60 frames per second. The uncapped experiment that they were trying didn't meet their expectations, so they're working on a fix. And again, any changes will be flighted and patched post-launch.
See, this just makes me think that Microsoft was like, okay, please get it out by the end of the year so that they have something new to play by the end of the year. Like, I don't know. This is just like, you can't launch it and then start to fix it after it's launched because, yes, the hardcore guys might play it, but any new member who wants to jump in, like a Summit, is not going to play this for more than 5 minutes and have a input delay and a capped frame rate. Like,
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said it didn't worry me. I love the whole ready when it's ready thing.
Yeah.
But then but the whole time in the back of my mind, I kept saying there has to be a date in mind because I can't just, from a business standpoint, I can't just imagine having an open, plan with a budget and not having an end date. So as much as I'm sure 343 probably wants to do the ready when it's ready, and Microsoft might have said, hey, this is the date we need it out by. So they might be getting pushed. Who knows?
I don't know.
But we'll see. It's been 2-3 weeks in between. So we'll see what they were able to fix. But like I said, the big changes, they said they'll flight first. So we'll see what happens.
Hopefully it's well received. That's all I can say. All right. Well, we have tournament results in the meantime.
Obviously, we had DreamHack Atlanta. In the Halo 5 2v2 in first place, we had Renegade and Septify.
Yep.
Second place was Mr. Soul Snipe and Vetra. And then third place was Boo Boo Bear and Sway.
Okay.
And then,
Sway.
Yeah. And then over the Halo 3 4v4, first place was Tox Gaming. Yep. Snakebite Lethal ABG Royal 2. Second place was Lux Gaming, Goofy Gilky Gabriel and Rhinoob. And then third place, we had Team Mantra, Snipe Down Ace Eco, and Pistola.
Yeah. The actual results ended up coming pretty closely in line with the qualifiers as well, interestingly enough. Everything was like bang on except for Chaotic, who we kind of predicted could have done better, and they did, better than expectations.
Yeah,
but everything was pretty much
to get top 4.
Oh, yeah, they were almost there. Yeah. But
I love a good upset story.
For sure.
Nothing against the
Living the
players.
dream, pretty good performers as well. They had some pretty good places.
Yeah, they came out of the open
Out of the
bracket.
open bracket, exactly. Yeah. So some good moments, but a lot of 3-0s. A lot of
Sunday was definitely the best day.
Hell yeah, for sure. Sunday was. I highly recommend you guys go check it out if you haven't already. You can see it in the Twitch Pass broadcast. We still have in the meantime upcoming tournaments as well.
This Saturday, November 23rd, Penn Halo is hosting Halo 2 Classic on Master Chief Collection online 2v2. It's a benefit for a player goes by the name The Real Vital. He was involved in a pretty bad car accident and has been in the hospital for a while.
Oh.
So all the entry fees, it's $15 to enter. All entry fees go to, donated towards him to help pay his medical bills.
Okay.
But there is a $200 prize. So.
Okay. So that's good. A lot of good incentives to join that, and it's Halo 2, like great game to play. So really great that event's happening. Thank you, Penn Halo. And then Sunday on the 24th.
Yeah, Sunday 24th we have SWAT Nation's SWATiversary. It's a $650 2v2. Halo Project Brazil has started their season 2 of their Halo 5 2v2 series.
Right.
And then at Microsoft stores in North America. I know not Australia, maybe I'm not sure about London, but they're having a Halo CE 2v2.
That's cool.
And then right after that ends, they're having a Halo 5 SWAT free-for-all.
So Sundays at Microsoft stores, you got a whole Halo day.
Yep.
Halo CE and Halo 5. That's pretty exciting. And that's just coming up this Sunday, of course. So Saturday, Sunday, new events always coming out. And then Halo Reach on December 3rd. Whether or not it's ready, we're going to be playing it, and I'm going to be trying to make content on it. Should be hopefully a great time. But I think that's everything.
That's all I got.
All right, guys, remember you can also check out noobcombo.com for all of this information. Matty's updating it constantly. Really well-organized site, by the way, Matty. I actually go on there to check out like the rosters and stuff like that to keep up to date. So thank you. You guys should check it out too. No problem. And thank you for joining me today.
You got it, man.
See you around, dude. All right, I'm now excited to welcome DynaSean, Paradise Halo, onto the show. We're going to talk about producing high-quality content in Halo. How's it going, man?
Yo, what up?
Yo, how you doing?
Not too bad. Just back from DreamHack, kind of getting ready for the grind again, making some more content. It's been going great.
Yeah, I was going to say, I bumped into you at DreamHack, and my bad if I didn't fully know it was you. I think we bumped into each other like an elevator in DreamHack, and this is your first Halo event as well?
Got that. But that was my first big Halo event that I've been to, and I ended up working it, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, not sure what happened with your voice there in the first half of that. It kind of cut out. Hopefully that doesn't keep happening.
My bad. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. So yeah, you said you're working the event, right? It was your first event, and then you're working it. What are you doing there?
Yeah, so my first event I ended up working it, which was pretty cool. So 343 reached out to me, Muggsy in particular, reached out to me asking me if I was interested in doing some work with HCS. I wasn't sure what it was yet. That was a couple months out from the event, and then as soon as I got closer, he ended up reaching out to me and said, "Hey, we want to get a lot of content at this event.
Right.
Can you come and help out with camera?" So I'm pretty much did all camera work. So I filmed interviews, B-roll. We did some what would you call it? Kind of small advertisements because they were giving away Astro stuff and HCS t-shirts, and so my job was basically just to run around like crazy and capture as much footage.
Oh my god!
As I could, yeah.
Is it just nonstop? Do you have to approach people yourself and be like, "We need you for an interview for HCS"? Is it all on you?
No, man. Can you imagine? Because
that'd be so tough. Nobody knows.
No one knows me. You know what I mean? So
right.
And I'm I'll totally admit that. So can you imagine if I just walked in, "Hey man, who are you?" No. So luckily Muggsy kind of was everyone knows Muggsy obviously, so he kind of was with me. He would round people up, and then I would basically set up the shot, record it, audio stuff, all the technical things.
Yeah. Along the way, you got to watch some awesome Halo. Apparently, you also got to meet Ola. You had a little tweet there saying apparently Ola is as amazing in person as you'd imagine. There you go.
Ola's dope. So I met him briefly. I met him as we were getting ready for his interview. And so I just kind of briefly talked to him. I didn't get to have an in-depth conversation, but he was just so charismatic, and he was so he was so down to like make content, and like, he was so down for the interview. He says he saw some of my content, which was awesome. But he was just like an all-around good dude. Like I just got really good vibes from him, and I always pictured him as that type of person. So as soon as I met him, and it just like reassured it, I thought it was awesome. Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's good when it all comes together. Like he's just so easy to talk to. You think like you say hi to him, and like some people they might say hi, they might want to cut the conversation short, but Ola will like get the conversation going. Like he just seems like a really up and excited about life kind of person. He's great to talk to. He's funny too, man. On the desk, he was a great presence. Yeah.
Like all the other interviews we did, they were pretty quick. They're like 2 minutes, right? No one really wanted to talk, but Ola was like the one person Muggsy had to like cut him short.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So that was
we got a certain amount of time for this, man. Stop talking. I wish I could just get him on the damn show. When I find him in the venue, he's easy to talk to. We have these long conversations, but then afterwards, once he goes home, you can't find him anymore. He's tough.
Yeah.
So did you have any like highlights, like personal highlights that like from the event, like any cool clips or anything that you thought were great?
Any cool clips? Like gameplay or
gameplay moments, whatever. I have a personal one that I'm going to show in a second. I'm just curious to know if you have.
Yes. So honestly, I got to watch maybe like 5-10% of like the actual
sucks,
but I caught the tie game in Oddball. What was it? Tox versus Lux?
Yeah, it was Tox and Lux.
Yeah. So that when they caught that tie game, that was nuts. Sneak peek. That's actually the next Paradise Halo Tactics video. So
oh my god. I wonder if he's going to talk. I wonder if Callus is doing that one, right?
Yeah, him and I are.
I wonder.
He's going to write it.
Sorry, the commentary. Yeah. I wonder if he's going to talk about that spot because they spent like 10 minutes talking about an illegal spot beside the blue door, the low door where Shoddy is, and they literally were just talking about whether or not it was fair because that spot led to this blue room setup that they then used to tie the game.
Right.
It was either the tie or the win. It was one of those, but it was crazy. We spent all this time just talking about it and seeing whether or not it was legal, and eventually replayed.
I won't go into what the video will be because I don't want to spoil it, but. But I think it's gonna be good. That game was just amazing in general. Honestly, that was probably one of my favorite moment out of the whole because it was just exciting. Honestly, like on top of like how the game ended, the whole tournament ended up going pretty late, right? I mean you remember. But like one side of you is kind of like as you're working the event, it's kind of like you notice everyone's leaving, but like it was just so exciting that Halo was still going and people were still there. You know what I mean? And like everyone that cared about Halo was still there. Everyone was watching. Everyone was cheering. It was dope. That was a cool moment too. That as the event was shutting down, Halo was still going strong.
I'm glad because that's kind of what helped me give that like emphatic closing statement that I have where I'm like, we're all still here.
That was a good statement. That was a good little ending. It was,
I'm glad I didn't trip over my words there, man. I was like, I felt so brain dead by the end of the day from just standing for like 12 hours. I was like, I need to nail this. My personal favorite moment, though, here's a clip that I have. It's the one from Gab. I don't know if you saw it.
Now we see Snakebite coming around the corner, and Gabriel smartly deciding to jump this one off the map as that flag is moving.
This is an incredible shot by Gabriel as he jumps off the map. What awareness. He just bought just enough time to stay alive, and a huge shot by Gabriel to cut off the overextender. And this is going to be Lux tying up the game 1-1.
Like if you fall in the right spot, you actually hit the floor. Like you hit this beam and then you die. So you actually have a lot of time to kind of pull it off. But that was crazy. That's like one of those moments that make Halo so sick when people pull off snipes. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. So DreamHack was sick. But I want to talk a little bit about kind of what you've been up to because of course you do Paradise Halo. Paradise Halo, by the way, is criminally underviewed. I think people need to be watching it. It's some very high production value content, and it doesn't just kind of come out of nowhere. You're very experienced in the industry. You got a lot of background doing what you do. I cherry-picked another clip, for example, and this is one of the COD team roster videos that you put together. This is awesome. Check this out. I'm going to play it with audio so you guys can hear it. Oh, you know what? That wasn't the full thing. That wasn't the full video. That was just.
Are you thinking about the? The one that you just played was like the brand reveal where they announced the logo, the name, and stuff like that. The one before that was the roster where we got to see who was on the team. I made both of those. That experience was They reached out to me from my work that I did with the Los Angeles Gladiators for Overwatch.
Okay.
So I guess they liked my work there, and they basically just like messaged me on Twitter and said like, "Yo, we got this Seattle team, and we need to make some dope stuff. Can you help us out?" And I was like, yes, please.
So you just edit that on your own? You were like a one-man project for that?
So the roster video was I directed and edited it. That was more of a production. So their players are kind of scattered around the country. So we had to get everyone into LA where I was. And I hired a cameraman, like a director of photography cameraman. And the Seattle people came as well. And we basically had a full day in a studio. And I just kind of directed the whole entire thing, filmed everything like in a really awesomely lit studio. And then once that was done, I just basically took the footage. I spent, I want to say, like a week and a half or so just putting it all together. And then that was that. But the brand reveal, that was more just me, like on my computer. So that was an awesome experience. And I'm still doing some work with them, but it slowed down a lot.
Right. So a hell of an undertaking overall. And like you said, you're in LA. You're working in LA doing what you're doing right now? What's the company?
The company I work for now?
Yeah.
So I work for the esports org Sentinels.
Okay.
We have, so if people might know it from the
Fortnite, I know it from.
Yeah, the Bugga, the Fortnite World Cup champion. So we have him. We also have XQC, who's under our brand. So I work with Sentinels, just kind of on their marketing team, where I'm a video editor, motion graphics designer. But I do a lot more. Like I do a lot of producing and content planning, content managing, things like that. So that's my full-time job, and then everything else is just like freelance or my own personal passion projects.
Right. So all this like high-profile stuff. So we're pretty lucky to have you focused on Halo. Now that I think about it, right? Because Halo is like a small fish compared to the stuff that you're currently working on, which makes me kind of want to know, like, where did it all begin for you? When did you kind of start doing all this editing stuff that gave you the skills that you have now, and kind of how did that journey begin? The first thing I have, because I've been kind of around, I know you started in Toronto, and I live in Toronto as well. The first thing I have is Greater Toronto Halo. Is that kind of where it started, or was it before that?
So before Greater Toronto Halo, I worked at The Score Esports.
That was before. Okay.
Well, I mean,
kind of at the same time, right?
Same time. So I think
we'll show some Greater Toronto Halo in the background, but this is a group, of course, that run Microsoft tournaments. Well, let's talk about these guys first. So, or I guess you were doing it at the same time, but yeah.
So I didn't do too much work with Greater Toronto Halo, but I was a part of it a lot. So when I first found out what Greater Toronto Halo was, it was me and my buddy Casey. He goes by Cinematic. His gamer tag. Him and I he was like, everyone has their Halo buddy from when they grew up, you know what I mean? So he was like my Halo buddy from like my childhood. So him and I always wanted to get into like find like a LAN event, and then we ended up finding Greater Toronto Halo. I can't remember how we found it, but as soon as we went there, I kind of took in what it was, and I noticed that they were doing streaming. They were streaming their events. And then I kind of just thought to myself, like, damn, like, because Casey he comes from video. So him and I were just like, damn, we could like help this out, maybe help add some production to it, and just, be a part of it.
Right.
And so the first little bit, like I kind of helped with their streams and did some of their graphics for them. Nothing too major. But that was most of my work with GT Halo. And other than that, I was just more of an attendee.
Did you pick up the skills in school, like the graphic design stuff?
Yeah, so I went to college back in Canada for like television production. And then from there, I just kept going. I ended up just sticking mostly to editing, but I also do a lot of video production too. So I film weddings and music videos and things like that. But as of like the last 5 years or so, I've been pretty much just hardcore editing, graphics.
Yeah, so I guess it's something that school kind of ignited it, and then you became really passionate about it. You started like investing your time in it on your own. Like, do you watch videos and like learn solo, like learn, or was it most of the stuff you learned was from like the school courses that you took?
Yeah, so school really taught me like broadcast production, bigger types of production, news and things like that. Before college, I was making, actually me and the same guy I mentioned, Casey, we used to make like comedy videos when we were younger.
Sick.
And that's how my love for video came out. From there, I started teaching myself editing and like After Effects. That was all through like Video Copilot. Like that taught me After Effects pretty much.
What's Video Copilot?
It's a website where it's a team that's basically they're a visual effects company, and they do a lot of work on big movies like Star Wars and other big productions. But their
That's
website,
what I need to do. I need to look this up. And see.
yeah. So they have a lot of tutorials on their website where they teach you how to do certain things. So I followed a lot of their tutorials, which kind of taught me the ins and outs of After Effects. And then I went to school, and then I kind of learned a little bit more, and then you just kind of keep going.
Right.
So it all kind of started that way.
And then you kind of come across the Score Esports. And the Score Esports I've actually been a part of as well way back. They've grown a ton, but you work with their content, and we have some content that we can throw up in the background. If you guys know the Score Esports, they do their story of videos or some of their best content. And you had a pretty big involvement with the story of videos when they first began. This is the Shroud one in the background.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about your time at the Score.
Yeah, so when I got there, they were just looking for just basic editor. They did a lot at that time. They were doing a lot of top 10s and highlight packages, which I did. Yeah. But we hit a moment where they were trying to figure out what else can we do, and a couple of us had the idea. We're like, man, like there's so many stories in esports and no one's telling them. You know what I mean? Like there's so many good stories, good moments, and like people need to know what it is. So at the time, the producers were a little bit iffy on it, like I guess iffy on experimenting with it, and I kind of kept pushing it. Me and a couple other guys just kept pushing it, like no, man, make it, we gotta make it. And they finally let me do one, which was the story of Olaf Meister from CSGO. Yeah. And I had the deal was I had to make it like 5 minutes long. I had to be quick. Okay. So like telling someone's story.
These are not quick videos. Yeah.
Man. So and you notice how they're like 30 minutes long now.
Right.
So we did that, and it popped off. Like it was getting tons of views.
And it was 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was like 5 to 7, somewhere in there.
Okay. Wow.
And it did really well. So then that basically was like a green light. It's like, okay, fuck, all right, they work. Go ahead, keep making more. And I just kind of.
Yeah. So you make these videos, and I guess you gain some experience, and then that kind of like transitions for you into more. You pick up other opportunities.
Yeah. So that. So the Score pretty much.
I know I'm kind of like fast forwarding.
Yeah. No, it's all good. So the Score basically got me into esports. Like I knew what esports was before that, obviously, but it got me into working in esports. So that was like my first step, which I'm so incredibly thankful for. And then from there, a company in Los Angeles called Blitz Esports reached out to me. I applied for a job with them, and they interviewed me. They ended up hiring me almost like a year later. It was a pretty long process. Nice. And they asked me to come out because they make these like tactics videos, but they had them for Overwatch, League of Legends, and Counter-Strike. Okay. So I went there, and then they basically said, you're going to make Overwatch. You're going to work with this guy, and you guys are just going to make Overwatch content. And from there, that's when I really started to get into After Effects and really started to get into motion graphics and like the tactics type stuff.
Yeah, and then we have an example as well. We could put this up in the background. This is your Overwatch tactics content that you create. These have tons of views as well.
Yeah, they did really, really well. I think when I first started there, the views were in like the tens of thousands. There was a couple of 100,000s from like the previous editor. But the reason they hired me was because their editor ended up got a new job. So I came into this and pretty much just hit the ground running. And the way what we kind of learned doing this stuff is like, you could teach a lot of people. Like, everyone that's watched Overwatch will say it's crazy, it's frantic.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Everywhere, like it's so hard to follow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we kind of just said like, okay, there's got to be a way to like slow this down and really show people like kind of like a board game or like a game of chess. You know what I mean? Like
right,
kind of like that. So we kind of figured that out, and from there, like once we kind of figured out the whole teaching aspect, it was then about okay, well now we got to make it entertaining, because like if we just drill people with like meta stuff, like it gets kind of boring unless you're really, really into that stuff. But we need to expand our audience, and that was all. Then we kind of was like, okay, we need to make this entertaining and like fun. So that's when we started. Like if you watch some of the videos, you'll notice there's a lot of like little fun moments, funny moments, things like that. So
like little clips and stuff. Like,
yeah. So that's how I got started with like tactics type stuff.
Right. So did that then lead to LA Gladiators? Was that kind of like the next step?
That's
going through your timeline.
Yeah. Shit, my timeline's like long.
Dude, it's pretty awesome, honestly. Because as somebody who's like, I live in Toronto, I'm a Halo fan. I met you at Greater Toronto Halo. Like, we were part of the same kind of Halo group. You kind of just like went off. You're in LA doing all this stuff, and now you're coming back to Halo with Paradise Halo, and you're trying to make that same content. So it's a cool journey that I just kind of wanted to make sure I kind of understood and recap for people.
Yeah. So at that moment, so Blitz Esports was a startup company. It was actually an app for League of Legends, but they did content.
Okay.
So they ended up selling the app to TSM. So TSM ended up buying Blitz, and all of the like app developers on Blitz got hired at Discord. But that left the content team, the marketing team, like shit out of luck. Okay. But then our boss at that time, he was really well connected, had a really strong network, and he kind of introduced us to a lot of people. And then that's when so what happened was I ended up streaming one of my edits for Blitz Esports. And then I remember I started the stream. Within 5 minutes, there was like 20 people watching, which was like, I've never even streamed before.
Right.
So I was like super excited about it. And then turns out the next day I found out it was the LA Gladiators. They were all sitting in an office watching stream my edit, and then they ended up reaching out to me like, yo, we want to hire you. And
that's cool. From streaming. It's actually
from streaming. So they I had a couple other offers at that point, but the LA Gladiators was like the coolest one, and the one that I thought I was going to have a lot of fun with, and I had fun with it, so I'm happy I took that.
Yeah, so, I mean, as an example we can throw up in the background here as well is all these clapback animations that you did. You post this is pinned on your Twitter, and these have really cool audio to go with them, but I think the audio might be like kind of quiet so we can talk over it. But did you use all of these? These are the ones that you didn't use or something? These are like...
So, I think there was 2 in here that I didn't use, or maybe just 1. Actually, there's not all of them are in here because Twitter only allows like a certain amount of megabytes or time or something like that, so I couldn't put all in. But yeah, these clapbacks were actually hell of a lot of fun to make, but it was funny how they started. I ended up, we were playing against the Atlanta Reign, and I think I was bored one day, like I had a slow day at work, and I hopped on After Effects, and I started making just like, fooling around with the logos and things like that, and I made a little clip where like our logo like basically shits on their logo.
Right.
And I posted it to our team's Discord, and it was like, haha, funny, huh? It was, memeing a little bit, and then we played them like the next day, and I was in the arena, and we won, and I looked on Twitter, and I noticed they posted it, and I was like, what? Wow. Like, you guys, they didn't even tell me, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I was like, yo, it wasn't even, like, it's not even as good as I wanted it to be, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, damn, I would have made it better, Yeah. But ended up, and then people loved it. They popped off, so they're just like, yo, keep making those. And I was like, okay. But yeah, so every week I got to make, like, a cool little animation where, they ended up doing really, really well. It ended up becoming a pretty big thing here.
Wow. So that whole journey, and of course you're still working in LA, but at the same time you decide to start Halo content. So I mean, as a guy you got full-time work, you're making money doing Overwatch, other games, what makes you come to Halo and then try to do Halo content?
I mean, man, it's Halo. Like, come on.
Right. Gotta love
Halo. Yeah, like Halo is like, it's my, much like everyone, watching, like they all love Halo and like they care about it. And, Halo is like my biggest, the one game that I've been playing forever. And ever since I started at Blitz where I made those Overwatch tactics, I kept thinking to myself, like, damn, like, Halo would be kind of cool. Like, I could do some Halo ones, but I never really
had animation, by the way? Look at that.
That was done by LZ. Honestly, I don't know his first name, but I know him as LZ.
That's actually pretty dope.
That guy is amazing at what he does. So yeah, he makes he's like a 3D animator and he renders out 3D stuff. He actually did Hidden Experience, I think.
Okay.
I think he did stuff for Uber Nick, and he's done a lot of stuff for Halo, but he's actually working on something for me right now that we're actually going to be adding to the content soon. Just like as soon as I finished that Blitz, I was like, you know what? Let me try it. You know what I mean? Because I think the reason I didn't want to get into it right away was because Halo was so small at that time, and it kind of still is now.
Right.
And I didn't think the audience was going to be big enough. I didn't think people would care. And one day I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to try it and see how it works. If I can pull it off.
Yeah.
It works. And they did well. Like viewership's not that strong right now, but I think that will come in time. It's all about consistency with YouTube, but that's kind of how I just got right into it.
You think that's the hardest part, the consistency? Because I don't think they come out super frequently just yet, right? You maybe get one every couple weeks or something, right?
Yeah, so these videos take time.
Right.
So I think one video, on average, will take like 20 to 30 hours or so.
Jeez, dude.
Which is
A lot of
good,
work.
in my opinion. Like, that's not bad. But
That's quick for you, yeah.
yeah, well, yeah, kind of. But
Yeah.
when you have like a full-time job, editing all day,
Mm-hmm.
and then going home and editing more,
Right, exactly.
it drags on, man. But
Crazy.
so I try to get a video like every 2 weeks. That's like the goal. I've not even hit that yet, but it seems to be like every month or so. But yeah, so it'll get there. It'll get there in time for sure.
If we play back the Flickshot video a little bit in the background, just again, I noticed that you don't really just kind of like make content that's about like you specifically. You're taking content creators and you're highlighting them, like Vetoed and Proximity. How does that work? like I guess what's the mindset behind content creation here? Because it's like you don't. Instead, it seems like you want to kind of take stars and you want to put them in the spotlight and make the content around them.
Yeah. I mean, the best way to say it is like, who am I? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like a pro player. You know, I'm not good. Like, I always say, like, yeah, I make these like cool breakdown videos, but it's not really my mind in these videos. Like this one, the Flickshot one specifically, I wrote it, I produced it, I made it. That was all me.
Okay.
But the reason I want to put creators into it is because I want to showcase all of these streamers, these pro players, everything. I want them to see themselves in a video of this production level and get excited. You know what I mean? So I want them to see it. You know, that's cool. You know, and as soon as they see that, they get excited. They're going to want to play more. They're going to want to show it to their friends. You know what I mean? And then, you know, I get more viewers that way. It's just a good way to show what the Halo community is all about. And that's kind of how the whole thing is. The whole Paradise Halo is not me. Like,
look at this stick animation too.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like Paradise Halo is not me. Like, it's not just me. Like, I'm not the only one behind it. Like, I have Callus behind it. I have our friend Trespass is behind it. I've collaborated with Proximity. I've collaborated with Stress. Like, all these people have, you know, contributed to it, and like, I'm completely thankful because, honestly, like, so for example, Callus, he's I mean, you know Callus, but he's like he's like an analytical mastermind with Halo.
Yes.
So I reached out to him because I was told through Martin Ohms from GT Halo, which I'm sure you know, that he is really good at this stuff. And I reached out to him. I was like, yo, I have this idea for like Halo, like this tactic type video. Would you be down for something like that? Like, do you think you could be a part of that? Like, and he ended up showing me some of his old content where he does film reviews.
Yep.
And I was like, dude, you've got the mind for it.
He knows everying, man. He knows more than I do about macro. It's actually kind of crazy. Very thankful to have him around. He helps me with my content too.
Yeah, I heard. But yeah, so I was like, yo, like, if you can work with me, man, we can make some dope content. And then I showed up in the episode, and he was like sold right there. And so he's actually like, he's a very, very big part of Paradise Halo. And so like, I'll take the opportunity now to say thank you to him. But he's a big deal. And then I also have like someone like Trespass who he puts together the highlight packages after events. So he ends up watching the events and he edits those together and puts those out. He also helped me write the story of Halo 5.
Yep.
Well, I shouldn't say he helped me write it. He wrote it. But yeah, so he's a really good storyteller. He's a really good writer. And I saw that in him. I was like, yo, like, you want to jump on board and kind of do some content.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just want I want everyone to know that Paradise Halo is not just me. Like it's a collaborative effort.
Yeah. So your kind of vision, I guess, for it. I think we talked about this before. You saw it as more of kind of like a platform or something. Mm. Where do you see it kind of in the future when it becomes bigger? Like, what would you say are your goals for Paradise Halo?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I kind of the way I saw it at the beginning was basically it's a platform for people who love Halo and want to create content and want to be a part of the content to come together and work with me because I have the production skills to put these videos together. And for those people that don't have those skills, they can partner with me and we can kind of put some dope stuff out. But yeah, like, so in the future, I want to keep doing that and kind of grow on that and like, work with more people, get some more people involved, whether it be like, right now we do like esports stuff. That I'm trying to do like narrative type stuff, like the story of Halo 5. Getting into lore would be great. But like I want there to be somebody that can own each of those. So think of Paradise Halo as a channel, like a TV channel, and then there's different series like in that channel, basically, like every other YouTube channel.
Yeah, like kind of networks or whatever within it.
Yeah. So like, you know, like Callus would be like the tactics guy, and like Trespass would be the storyteller, and then, you know, I guess have somebody else doing like lore stuff.
This is why I'm chatting with you as well, because we have to try one video together. This is gonna happen. Yeah, because you have production skills that I'll never have. So I need we're gonna figure it out. We've already kind of talked about it, but how I can kind of take what I'm doing with my analysis and take your production and just make it something beautiful. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, no, we'll do it. And honestly, like the more I think about it, like it's gonna be good. Like it'll be amazing.
Yeah.
Like just watching you. I like what you offer because you're the personality and you have this energy, and I think that could work really well. Like kind of building a little bit of an episode with that.
Yeah, that's why I'm also trying to come up with these bold topics. Like I want to take things like sprint versus no sprint and stuff that like people really want to hear about. Like even if you're outside of Halo, and kind of you know take that production value to really take it to the next level, so people really engage with it.
Yeah.
Should be exciting. I see myself frozen right now. Am I frozen?
I think I see you frozen on the.
Oh, we're good. We're back. All right, cool. Okay. So you have this great vision for it as like kind of a larger platform that collaborates with a lot of different content creators. So I guess to anybody viewing or who wants to know more about Paradise Halo, not that you should get like a bunch of DMs now or something, but it kind of, you know, there's opportunity there. If you guys have a great vision for what you want to do with content, you probably have to have some background and something that you can show DynaSean, right? But yeah, like I guess you want to work with people to create the best content and bring their visions to life, which I think is really exciting. I would love to look at some of your stuff. So for example, we have this clip from your tactics video that you did with Callus, and just to kind of show like what's so cool and unique about it. So here's a great, this is from your most recent video where you do this like picture in picture, and then you have this top down graphic that shows where players are moving. How do you put this together? Probably really difficult to explain, but.
Yeah, a little difficult. It's honestly, it's all After Effects. So I like to tell people, and I'm totally candid with this stuff. But if you know like After Effects, or at least have a good base understanding of After Effects, you can create this stuff. So like if someone's watching this and they understand After Effects, they go, okay, I know how we did it. It's really like honestly like I will say that making the video is easy for someone like me because I'm experienced with this type of stuff. But the hard part, like I can't break down a play like that, man. Like that's where like that to me is impossible. You know what I mean? So, like you'll sit here and be like, man, I don't know how you make these videos. That's incredible. And I'll sit here and be like, dude, I don't know how you break down these plays. Like how do you do it? So that's why I partner with people who that's why it becomes like a team effort. But so like pretty much the process of a video is so with Callus, whenever a tournament ends, one of us will kind of pick a series or a game. Usually it's Callus that'll pick it. That he wants to break down, he thinks it's interesting, and then he'll basically pitch it to me. We'll go over it together. Like he'll basically break it down like just to me over like a Skype call, and I'll kind of figure out a way. Okay, like is there a narrative here? Is this interesting? Like, can this be a video, or is it just going to be like something a little bit meta grindy? Like because it has to be entertaining.
Exactly.
So there comes moments where like Callus will be like, oh, like I really want to talk about this like intricate.
He gets really excited about like a bad thing that other people might not exactly like.
So I'll kind of be like, it's cool, but maybe not this time, or like maybe let's try that with something else. You know what I mean? So that's how I think we work really well together. But yeah, then he'll basically do that, and then I will say, okay, this is great. Like here's a good layout of like what the video will be. Here's the pacing, and then at the start I was writing them. So I'd write the whole script, and I would then voice it and then edit it to that. But as time went on, I really wanted Callus to own the series. So I wanted him to be kind of like the tactics guy. Like even though like I'm editing it, but I want people to think of Callus when they watch these videos. Nice. So that's when I was kind of like, okay, like do you want to try writing it? And so like, and then a couple of ones I wrote with him and to kind of help him along the way. And then he just got really good at that, so now he writes them on his own. And then I ended up saying, do you want to voice them? That way, when you watch the video, you hear Callus, it's him, and he can really, own that type of stuff. And he feels proud to share and show it. So that's kind of how I do it,
Well, the results are awesome, and hopefully they keep coming. And yeah, hopefully we can work on these as well. But just right now, of course, viewership isn't ideal for any of us. But do you see a lot of opportunity in the future? Do you think Halo kind of has that chance with like Reach and Infinite? Do you think you're kind of prepping yourself for something that could explode later?
Yeah, of course. Like, honestly, I mean, as soon as I'll be honest, like, as soon as they announced the grassroots program, I was like, okay, like, this is them trying to get people to create content and build up hype again. So I kind of took that opportunity, and that's when I was kind of like, okay, I've had this idea for like a year or two to like make these videos. I was gonna I'm just gonna do it and just fucking see if it works. And honestly, so much like a lot of other people, like I just kind of want to keep going. Like at this point, I'm just trying to get my workflow down, get a strong, consistent schedule down, so that way, like, and then build up my network as well of collaborators. That way, when Infinite does drop, we're hitting the ground running. You know what I mean? We're ready to go, and like we're hopefully, I don't know if other people will start doing these types of videos, but at that time maybe we'll be the only one, and people can jump on board with it. But yeah, so I honestly, I think Halo is gonna be big.
Yeah.
But Reach on PC, like honestly, I wouldn't even know, to be honest.
Don't know just yet.
Like, yeah, like I'm just like, that's just me. Like I hope it does really well. But Infinite, I think, is gonna go big. I think they're putting a lot into it, and I think Microsoft is gonna kind of try and knock it out of the park.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think. Do you think it's like what would you recommend? Let's say you've got somebody who isn't making content right now, and maybe the timing seems weird, but like, where do you think they would get started? Or where should they get started if they want to start making content? Or actually, if you wanted to get into editing as well, kind of where would you recommend that they get started if they want to make videos like you're making? This is me saying, like, what do I got to do? No, I probably won't have time to get around to it, but I would love to produce content at the level that you're at. But
yeah, honestly, like,
it's tough
go on YouTube, learn basic stuff. Like, it's the way I did it is like I learned like I mentioned Video Copilot before, and they teach like visual effects, like special effects and movies and stuff like that. So you just follow the tutorials, but as you're doing it, you're learning what each tool in the software does. Mm-hmm. And then once you learn what each tool is doing, then you kind of start thinking, okay, well, I want to make this, so then this tool will do that. Okay, this makes sense. You start doing it. Just all comes in time. But yeah, like someone who wants to get into it, honestly, I want to say that you got to find something unique right now. I think there's a lot of Halo content creators that do a lot of like those like weekly like lore videos, or there's a lot of YouTube channels that are very similar, and I think it's great because like I watch all of them. You know what I mean? Hidden Spirit, Ubernick, Kevin Cool, even Halo Follower. I like Halo Follower. All that stuff. You know what I mean? So like even if each channel talked about the same thing, I would still watch all of them. I love Halo. Like,
As a big fan,
Yeah, it's just me. But I think if you want to get started, like you got maybe try and find something that's a little bit unique and the community hasn't seen yet. Which is what, even though like my viewers aren't high right now, it still wows people. So when people do watch it, it's like a bit of like, oh shit, wow.
Yeah.
Never seen this before,
Yeah, I feel like the true kind of the thing you're looking for is how do you bring value, right? And I guess bring value through having something that is unique, that is that differentiates itself from everybody else. And for you, on top of just like the information that you're providing, it's the production, it's the level of like the quality of the production that nobody else can hit right now, and giving good tactics at the same time, right?
Yeah. But like honestly, like right now with tactics, it's all about showing people that. What I would like to do is show people that aren't fully invested in Halo esports and show them what it is on a much easier way to understand. You know what I mean? So, which is kind of what we did with that Overwatch stuff, where we just you just slow it down. Like some Halos are fast, like Halo 5 is fast, right? And Halo 3 could be slower, but like sometimes it's hard to follow, especially for someone who's kind of getting into it or has shown some interest in it. But you can watch these videos to kind of really understand, the intricacies of what Halo esports offers. And hopefully get excited about it. So like I kind of want to bring like the casual players and like introduce them to the esports type stuff. Yeah,
in an inviting and exciting way. So I love it, man. So you got more content coming in the near future. You're planning on doing stuff for Reach as well, I'm assuming, and then Infinite's kind of when you hit the ground running.
Yeah, pretty much it. Yeah, hopefully, So hopefully it goes well.
Yeah, I kind of got the same mindset. We've got to just keep grinding and keep delivering value and just kind of wait for that moment that things hopefully explode. And if we're there to grab as much as the new people coming in and keep them there, they get excited about it. I think that's what's gonna matter most, and keep Halo going. I think content like this is what keeps Halo exciting and keeps people invested in Halo esports, because that's our kind of our biggest flaw is content that in between events and stuff that keep people engaged and not feeling like they're burnt out and whatnot. I feel like a lot of people, especially just because it's been a while since we've had new games, there's just a constant feeling of like burnout across creators and streamers, and so I love what you're doing, man. I think it brings a lot more excitement back into Halo, and I just hope you keep at it, especially with all the skills you got. So we need that. It's invaluable.
And we need to make something, because honestly, the two of us together, man, that's dangerous.
It's going to be pretty awesome. I need to get my butt into gear and give you another one of those, because we're going to do this thing where I got to send you just my recording, and then you got to put me on the gameplay with. We'll figure it out. It's going to be high quality, way higher quality than what I usually have, and I'm sure people will be excited to see those two worlds kind of collide. But that's everything I have today. Thank you so much for coming on and for telling us about Paradise Halo, and I just can't wait to see what else you got in store, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
No problem. All right, guys, that's everything we have for today's episode. Hopefully you enjoyed that discussion. Hopefully something in that episode also inspired you to get into content creation as well. Like you heard, DynaSean with Paradise Halo, it's like a platform. He's got a lot he wants to create. He wants to collaborate with people. So if you start creating content now and you got something that's really cool and unique, maybe you can collab with him in the future. A lot of great opportunities, I think, overall. So really kind of exciting to step into that world of Halo and just to know that there are still kind of opportunities. There's still people creating exciting, engaging content. So thank you guys for joining me today. Of course, you can also check out our merch. Anything you purchase here not only supports the show, it supports me as well. And you guys know I would highly appreciate that. That's all we have for today's episode. Make sure to tune in next week, Tuesday. We're back on the Tuesday schedule, 5 p.m. CT, where we continue HCS Weekly. I'll see you there.